process. We pray that at the end of the day, we would have people who will be better in their activities. We pray that everything will run smoothly. Give you all the praise. Thank you for prayers answered. In Jesus' name we prayed.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. We'll now go straight to our next agenda. And that will be a remark from our SP representative here, that's the students' chair, Mr. Kennedy. Israel will be giving us the opening remarks. He's the students' chairman for the Society of Petroleum Engineers session 103. That's Port Harcourt. Over to you, sir. Opening remarks by Mr. Kennedy.
Okay, it's like Kennedy is having a network issue. It was here earlier on. So I think Queen can do that for him.
Okay, go ahead, please, Queen.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Oh, good afternoon, actually. Welcome to this wonderful event on behalf of SB. In collaboration with Study Globally, I invite everyone to this monthly webinar on how to write a good statement of purpose. The aim of this event is to ensure that everyone would be able to do something. And wonderfully enough, Study Globally is involved with admissions for people who want to study outside the country, especially in the UK, US, and in Canada. So at the end of the events, we would like you all the participants, to register with Study Globally to ensure that your admission processes are done free and easy. This would ensure that people who want to study outside will not be scammed. That's a very important thing to note. Don't be scammed by these online persons who are not professionals. You're dealing with professionals right here. And I encourage everyone who is a part of this meeting to reach out to the organizers at the end of this event. Thank you, and I hope we achieve our aim of joining this meeting.
Thank you very much, Queen. That's a very wonderful rendition. So on behalf of our team, I would like to quickly go to the next point on our agenda, and that has to be the keynote address by an expert in the field of international studies, or an expert in education. This man is Mr. Santos Surendran. He happens to be the International Director of Study Globally in the UK. And more of what we'll be saying is just to throw more light on what we are doing today. So I would like to give the floor to Mr. Santos to give his keynote address.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Santos Surendran. I'm one of the International Director for Study Globally. I'm based in Leicester, which is in United Kingdom. So at Study Globally, we help students like yourself to study abroad. So today's focus is mainly for the UK market. So to start the journey, obviously, please contact one of our education consultants. They're all present today. Okay. So the next step for yourself is to gather the documents. Okay. So these documents, they start from your passport copy, your academic transcripts, education certificates, English proficiency certificate, a personal statement, reference letters, and if there's any explanation on a study gap, then you need a letter for those. Okay, so once you have all those documents, our team will collect them. Then they will share with you the courses and the universities that will suit your budget or your preference as well. And then once you approve, we will apply in your behalf and we'll get an offer letter for you. Okay, so you will have more than one offer letter itself. And from those, you can confirm the university of your preference, and then you can take it further. Okay, from there, you will pay the deposit money, you'll pay it directly to the university itself. And once this is done and processed, the university will issue a CAS letter, and with the CAS letter, you can apply for a student visa. Okay. So from the documents, one of the documents that most students tend to struggle is personal statement, or SOP. Okay. And if you have a borderline application, a good statement of purpose can get you an offer letter itself. Okay, so today our team will guide you on how to get a really good personal statement. So I'm going to hand over to Onikachi Igibe, and he will go through the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will help you guys with the question and answer a bit later on as well. So Onikachi is yours now.
Okay, thank you very much. You're welcome. I'll be sharing my slide now, so just hold on. I hope you can all see the slide. How to write a personal statement. I hope you can see that.
Yes, we can, but you have to put it on slide mode.
Please share for me, share that for me from your end, please.
Okay, from your PowerPoint is on the far at the bottom of your screen. You see it at the bottom of your screen? No, bottom right. Bottom right of your screen, you see some icon there. The last one.
Bottom right.
Bottom right.
You can please share it from your end, please.
Okay, let me do that. Okay, we are good.
Okay, fine. So how to write a personal statement? We've realized for a lot of time now that so many persons have issues as to write a very convincing personal statement. And that has been a very, very big concern for us. The reasons are not far-fetched. Practically, most of these universities we apply to, they reject these applications on the go just because of the personal statement. And that's because some persons actually write, or they give it out for people to write for them, and they don't follow some certain principles. And why do they reject them? They reject them possibly because they were not well drafted, or because many of these things were plagiarized. And mind you, these universities have what they use to check for plagiarism. So you might be surprised that if you just go to the internet and you just copy somebody else's work, you'll be surprised that that is turned down because they found out that it is plagiarized. So on that note, I would like to go to the next slide so that I can be able to talk more on. Yeah. So what is a personal statement? You might want to know, or you may want to ask. A personal statement. What is a personal statement? It's an opportunity for you to speak of your unique experiences, the qualities that you think you have, or the beliefs by which you can convince the admission selection committee as they get a chance to know about you, those things you know that are not shared in your application. Mind you, you only apply for these things by giving them your personal information. You don't write any other thing like give them essays and what have you. So it's a chance for you to share what you have, the right skills that you have to pursue those courses. And you show them how passionate and enthusiastic you are. So you need to prove to them the reasons they must pick you. And that's why a personal statement or a statement of purpose is very, very important. So that, more often than not, when you apply for some certain things, you will see them asking you to check whether you are a robot. Possibly it's an animal that is applying. So they actually want to know if it's a human being that's applying. So these are the things to also check. So that's the reasons a personal statement is important. Please, next slide. So before you write, what do you look at when you start writing? Before you talk about writing, it's not like a man who wants to go into war. You need to count the cost. That's the same thing you need to do here. So counting the cost entails you preparing yourself. You need to sit down and prepare yourself, ask yourself some certain questions. And by so doing, these are the things you ask yourself. You need to check the universities or the college websites so that you can understand what skills and qualities they will like to get from you. Now, there are a lot of universities and countries as it were that you'll be interested in. Today, our focus, as our international director has said, is in the UK. Now, you need to check universities that actually suits you, and also what you can also offer them that is a skill and quality that they will be looking at for. Now, the second thing you need to do is you need to make a list of what you would like to include in your personal statement. How do I mean by that? What's the list? Okay, what sets you apart from another person? What makes them as the admission selection committee to sit down and say, oh, wow, you wowed them. You made them so impressed, and they are saying, oh, this is our candidate. So you need to sit down and ask yourself, what are the skill sets you have? What are the achievements you'll be able to attain? So those are the things you'll be writing, those things that you know that you have and some other persons do not have. Okay, so C. I've thought about making a list of what you want to include. So please go to the next slide, please. So you need to understand that these two things are important by the preparation. So preparing yourself is more about getting yourself or your acts together. Now, how do you structure your personal statement? I know I've seen some people who have submitted personal statements to me and I've rejected them on the go to. I told them, I said, please go and do a work on this. And even for us as a team, we help people to do that, do it at a fee. So, but I tend to beckon on some persons to actually sit down and do these things themselves. It's very, very easy, very simple. So now, how do you structure your personal statement? You may begin to ask yourself that question. Number one thing is that you need to do your introduction. Now, it's usually said that if after 2-3 minutes that I read an essay somebody writes for me, if after 2-3 minutes I cannot find an import, I cannot see something that is enticing or fascinating, I tend to get bored, or perhaps I just tend to throw the letter to the cleaners. So now, introduction is as important as your body, as important as the conclusion of your letter or your personal statement. So that's why number one is when you are doing your introduction, you must consider you're starting your sentences to engage and make sure that the reader continues to read. So you are starting your sentences and you should ensure that the reader, whoever it is that is going to look at your statements, will be encouraged to continue to proceed further. Now, you look at the body paragraphs. How do I mean? Structure the paragraphs based on the most relevant skills and achievements that the universities and colleges are looking out for. Very, very key. So, for example, if perhaps I know I'm a good data analyst, I'm good in Excel. Aside Excel, I'm good in maybe Python programming. That is a skill. I'm applying for university and I studied marketing perhaps. And over time, during the course of my studies, after finishing school, I decided to go and do a volunteer course or learn some courses on artificial intelligence and what have you. Now, I've garnered some skills that are relevant to the market today. Mind you, I said I studied marketing, but then I want to go and study a master's in maybe data science. Now, it is a skill set the university is looking out for. That somebody is here that actually knows a lot about artificial intelligence. They will actually want to hear from you. So you now need to structure. So the relevant skills and achievements that these universities are looking out for, you need to itemize them. That is going to be part of the body of your paragraphs. Now, your conclusion too, you need to summarize your commitment, your enthusiasm and skills which suits to the expectation of the university and college. I'm going to say something maybe as time goes on this. So let's go to the next slide. So the technical details, that these are the things they look out for. So more often than not, you'll be surprised you finish writing and you were not selected, or perhaps they rejected your application. I got a mail sometimes last week from somebody whose SOP was rejected twice. And that was because he wrote overboard and the length was more than necessary. So you need to be cautious about this. There are actually some applications you can use even on Microsoft Word to check for your character. So your length should not be more than 4,000 characters or just 47 lines of text, so including the spaces and backlines. So it's very, very key. There is a postscript here, which is saying you must make sure you do not copy. Now, I'm going to reiterate on this. Many people go online, they just see what somebody has done in the past, and they copy and paste. They don't sit down and even do some edition. What might be accepted if they look at through that website or through that particular software they have, and they find out, okay, it is plagiarized by maybe over 70%, they won't accept it. They understand some persons might want to change some words and the rest, so they might allow it to fly. So you need to be very, very cautious. You must not copy. Use your exact words. Don't use any prepared notes. Use your exact words. Just be yourself, be natural. So let's go to the next point on our agenda. Sorry, on this slide. And you need to proofread. You need to check for grammar. Don't go and start writing I am, or I once worked somewhere, and you started with a small letter I. That will fail you. So you need to check for your grammar, you need to check for your spelling, you need to check for your punctuation. Where you have to put a comma or a colon or a semicolon, please make sure you put that. If you need to consult somebody, maybe somebody else will help you do that, it's very, very fine, it's key. You need to check for your spelling, you need to check for your grammar, you need to check for your punctuation. Mind you, you are going to sell yourself. This is more about selling yourself. It's not the way you have your CVs. Your CVs, if your CVs has even a slight mistake that use a small letter where you're supposed to use a capital letter, you might be surprised you are not taken. Because mind you, there are softwares we call ATS, applicant tracking systems, that will check for all these things. That is in the same vein, for personal statements, these things are looked at. So you need to get a feedback from the most trusted and professional professionals who can help you. Then do a redraft. And when you are happy and you know that they are satisfied with it, you can now send for processing. So let's go to the next slide. So what do you include in your personal statement? I've said before now, you need to tell the committee, those who are going to sit down and look at this, your application, you need to tell them that you're actually interested in the desired subject. What do you want to study? You want to study mechanical engineering, and possibly maybe you did electrical engineering in school. It's fine, there's no problems. You can diversify, but you need to tell them what interests you. What is your interest? Why are you passionate about studying that course? Possibly you worked somewhere, you did a short-term course, or you were a volunteer somewhere, and you observe that during the course of your training, you learned electrical engineering, and you're now in the field of work, and everything you're doing is about machines. You can tell the selection committee that, see, I actually studied electrical engineering, but I have passion for machines. I can couple valves. I know how to work with flanges. I know how to work with. When you state this, that elicits them. They're excited. They say, okay, let's proceed for that. Let's see what this guy has to offer. Or let's see what this girl has to offer. So what interests you? You need to write them down. Now, you need to also write your previous studies and relate it to your selected course. Like I said, I'm using electrical engineer, for example. Somebody who finished with electrical engineering and who wants to do mechanical engineering, a master's in mechanical engineering, you need to interrelate, tell them how the electrical engineering you've studied in school is interwoven to that of the mechanical engineering or the mechanical engineering as a course. So they are very, very, very key. So you need to tell them how project management technology you studied in your university is related to construction technology. So for me, I'll be telling them that, okay, it's true, I worked as a project manager. I had a project I managed. And all of a sudden, it was a great project to the extent that I found myself sitting down with architects. And I saw myself working with other members of the construction team. And I was the one who supervised this project. Mind you, project management, there are so many projects you can manage. a project is just a subset of programs. So you cannot give them how you can relate this thing to the course you want to study. So I studied project management in school and I want to study construction technology. I will now tell them what interests me. And also I will put to them that, okay, it is true I studied project management, but there's an area of project management which has to do with construction. I'm not a construction person. I'm not a civil engineer. I'm not an architect, but I know I was able to manage projects from initiation to execution. When you put that down, tell them some technical terms that, okay, you did on the course of your work. It's going to be very, very relevant, even at this time. So you need to also know that you need to put any previous work experience. It's very key. Now, these things I'm mentioning are actually your body, the body. This is not introduction now. It's the body of your letter, your body of your statement. And it's not so much grammar. You need to show them how the previous places you've worked, possibly the even volunteering jobs you did. Some people do volunteering jobs. Some persons who are at home who are saying they don't have jobs to do, they can actually go to some companies and say they want to work for free, majorly to gain experience. So you need to tell them that you've gained some certain form of experience and that you can relate it with what you want to do, this course you are choosing. So you need to mention the previous work experiences you've done. You need to tell them about how relevant those aspects of the jobs are to these courses you want to study. Also, volunteering jobs, you need to also say to them. So possibly one day you finish from school during the course of your studies and you are supposed to do IT and you just decided along the line, you just decided to stay in a retail shop and you are learning some certain things. You learned how to do some kind of gross, the what we call gross profits. You could do some profit and loss analysis. And you finish from school as a marketer. Maybe you finish from BSc, maybe BSc economics. And you want to go and study business administration. And you forget that 3 months, 4 months, when you are working without your boss in the office, and it was showing you certain things, how they could use Excel, how you could plot some graphs, how you could sit down and calculate and know how a business makes profits and how a business makes its loss, and how you can make a business sustainable over time. All these relevant skills, you can see that just small. I'm just giving you examples. You can see how small they are. You can see now that you can put this down and show these people that you know what you're made of. You have this onion. So you also state the hobbies that relates to your subject. I think I was telling somebody some time ago about someone who want to study data science. And this is someone who studied in school, finished from school, and he studied something totally different. I think he studied marketing. But because within a year, he started some programs on data science, online and also offline. And he had this hobby. And one of the hobbies he mentioned to me was so good. What was the hobby? That is a good player. He can play chess. That alone, for somebody who is playing chess, you understand that game has to do with a lot of brain work. Now, you can see that it's a hobby that I'm a good player of chess. I can play chess. Remember, you need a lot of creativity to be able to play that game. Even if it is Ludo, to be able to play Ludo and you are successful in it, you need to tell these people that, see, I can do puzzles. I can break down problems. I can solve problems. How you are relating your hobby that you can play these games, as difficult as these games are, as difficult as these hobbies are, how you can show them that through this, you can solve some certain problems are things that these people look at. You can sell yourself by so doing. So also, there are some special trainings you've garnered over time. You've gone for courses. It could be online. You did a course on Coursera or Udemy, and you finished, you got some certificates, maybe in customer service. And you are writing a personal statement. You can actually tell them that, see, I even recently attended the training, certified for that purpose. And I was able to, through that training, these are the drawbacks, these are the things I could draw from, these are inferences I can draw from, and I can apply it. So your special trainings and achievements can actually help you show what you can offer. Then you need to show them that you are a suitable candidate and you have relevant skills that they are looking for to do that course. So you can see, I'm just trying to tell us that you may not actually finish you may not finish as a best student in your own department or in the class. You may have finished as a class candidate or student from school, but you had a study gap. You finished from school, let's say 2 years ago. And within that 2 years, you got a job or you got a placement or you worked for free somewhere and you got some skills that, in fact, within 2 years that you were looking for work and you were doing some volunteering jobs. And those within that time, you were able to garner some certain skills. These skill sets may actually count for you, even more than the 5 years or 4 years you spent in school. So you can see why I said writing a personal statement is easy. So let's go to the next slide. So these are the general tips to note when you are writing your statement. You need to know the reason you are applying for your selected course. There could be courses. In Study Globally, we help people who apply to 5 schools at a go. So when they submit the applications to us, 5 schools at a go, we help them submit the applications. So there is a reason you are applying for those schools. Now, somebody say he wants to study in Manchester. That is where I want to study. You say you want to study in Manchester Metropolitan University, MMU. He's telling the school that, see, aside going to Manchester University to study, I am a football fan. I want to stay close to Old Trafford. That is, to some people, it doesn't make sense. But it actually makes some sense. It's a hobby. I'm a football fan. And I know I can interplay with this. I can juggle up with this. I can juggle by watching football and also going to school. It's something interesting and fascinating. It's a hobby. He's a football fan. And he wants to also study in a school that is close to where he can actually have fun. So why does this subject interest you? You must also state it. So include evidence that you understand what is required to study the course. So why does the study interest you? Here, you need to include what you understand and what is required to study the course. You understand that, okay, to do this course, you understand the requirements as per, you need to do a lot of research work. You need to do a lot of proposal, a lot of research work. You need to work with supervisors. You need to go to do a lot of research work. So you need to understand that, okay, it's true that the study interests me, but I have evidence that over time, I'm a researcher. I'm a prolific writer. I can write. Somebody wants to study mass communication. You know that writing is something you must know how to do. So you can tell them that, see, I want to continue with this even after when I come back from the States or when I come back from my studies. So you need to tell them why you think you are suitable for this course. These are the things that they're looking out for. Why are you suitable? What are the skills you have? You can tell them I'm a prolific writer. I've helped organizations. I've helped companies. I've helped companies who were only going to comatose, dying. I've helped resurrect them. What skills did you use in helping them to resurrect those companies? So you need to tell them that while I was working in a company, in the IT department, they had so much problems and they were not getting jobs. But through my courage, through my networks, I was able to help them partner with some persons who helped them brought in profits that they did not have over time. These are the things they're looking out for. It's more about, like I said, the same way you're looking for a job is the same way you are going to go about writing this. So why do you think you are suitable for this course is important? Now, do you have any particular skills or experience that will help you to succeed on the course? I have mentioned this, so I'm going to reiterate. So you need to tell them, you can see I've been saying, you need to talk about skills and experiences. So it's not about studying 5 years in school. What have you applied with those knowledge you've garnered? How have you applied them? Are they now what you want to do in the future? So you want to be a master in that course. You are going for your PhD. Even if it's not masters, for those who want to study for the undergraduates, your personal statement may still be relevant, but we are actually targeting those who are looking for master's programs and also want to study their PhD in universities abroad. So let's go to the next slide. So have you taken part in any other activity or activities that demonstrate your interest in the course? So you need to understand, I've mentioned it, what programs or certifications have you garnered, have you collected in the past? How relevant are they to that course? There are so many. There is an avalanche of programs, courses online. You can learn even in a day. You can learn something in a week. Go to Udemy, go to Coursera. If you're a student, you must understand that this world we are into now is digital. What it means is that you have your tool with you. Your tool, that smartphone, is a whole world on its own. So you can sit down and do a lot of research. Look at programs, look at courses that interest you, you are passionate about, and sit down. And through these programs, like I've mentioned, you can go to Coursera. It's free. You can learn for free. There's even one I use for my learning, disasterready.org. They have so many programs. I learned Microsoft Excel through it. I learned so many programs on it. So these programs, you can see that you have to tell them, have you taken part in any other activity that demonstrates your interest in this course? Do your current or previous studies relate to the course that you have to choose or that you have chosen? So you need to ask. So if so, how? How do they relate? I mentioned somebody who studied electrical engineering, who perhaps should be good in anything electrification, lighting, electrification, wires, cables. But today he's talking about machines. He wants to study mechanical engineering. So how do you now make them interrelated? It is for you now to sit down and ask yourself questions through those skill sets you have garnered, how you can make them interrelated. So now what do you do then? You now need to write them down. Write down your accredited or non-accredited achievements. Think about the moments you are proud of, the positions or responsibilities that you have taken or you have held in the past, that you establish your interests and your unique qualities. Now, you finish in your class and you are the best students, or you happen to be the chairman of, or perhaps the president of your society when you were in school. You need to understand it's an achievement you are proud of. Or you finish from school and you attended some programs or seminars, you organize yourselves. Or you're in school, you had a business. You had a business that you did so much profits. It's a business you ran it when you were in school. So these are achievements you are proud of. You can bring it to bear as you are applying, as you are writing this personal statement. I'll tell the organization, or tell whoever it is that will read your personal statement that you will know your own. So you write down your accredited or non-accredited achievements, things you are proud of. What are you proud of? What have you done in the past? You helped a church to set up their facilities. You were able to give them so much value for their money. These are the things you are proud of. Or perhaps you can tell them what you did in the past, that you are, anytime you wake up and they call you, ask you for anything you can do. Like you might be someone that is very good in writing. It's a skill. You can say yourself that way. So these are the things you are proud of. You can also please write them down. Write them down. It's very key to write them down. Next slide, please. So if you are into a full-time education, or if you are not, sorry, you should please give details of any relevant work, paid or unpaid, and information about your current or previous employment. So for those of us who are here, who are listening, who have not worked, or who perhaps have been out of school for years, for some time, usually the universities will ask you to explain your study gap. Very, very key. So you cannot tell them that within 5 years you finished from school, 6, 7 years, you didn't work. That's why one important document we ask you to submit when you submit your applications to us is your CV. Your CV, curriculum vitae, tells us about yourself. It's what you use to sell. You sell yourself to your CV. Now, we check for this as well, where you have worked. Okay, you say you finished school 2015. That's 6 years from now, 6 years since that time you finished. What have you been doing? Okay, you said you have finished school, there's no job, no paid job. What have you done? What are the volunteering jobs you have done? What businesses have you been able to do on your own? Things that you've not gone to school, or perhaps you've not been able to attend school for a while. But these things are very relevant to them. What have you done? They're unpaid. There are things that you did, they didn't pay you, they didn't pay you salary, but you were able to do for yourself. What courses were you doing within that time frame? Somebody finished school like 2 months ago, but within that 2 months, this guy, I have seen him, he has gone for courses, offline or even online. He has attended programs, attended courses, and today is getting certifications, certified. So you can actually show them that, see, there are relevant courses or programs or perhaps experiences I have that I've garnered that I can bring to bear even while I want to study. So write your hobbies. Please write a list of your hobbies, your interests, your social activities. So you can see we have SP, Society of Petroleum Engineers. A lot of things that we do in SP. I'm sure they will tell us more after now, but I'm just trying to incorporate what we do also. You can see the partnership we have with them. So many volunteering courses we do that will help you hone your skill sets. So if you are here and you are not a member, we'll also tell you how you can be a member after now. So but that's not part of what I'm doing here. But I'm just trying to tell you that these are volunteering jobs you can do that will help advance your course. You can say you have worked, you volunteered for SP, you volunteered for maybe my company, Study Globally, and there are skill sets you've garnered within that time, and you can use it to apply. So please note that your hobbies are very, very important. You need them. Note that your interests, your social activities, those groups you belong to when you were in school. You are vice president, you are vice chairman, sorry, you are treasurer in this maybe society of chemical engineering, or precisely petroleum engineering students. So you can tell them that you belong to this group. So if you're a mature student, explain what you have been doing since you left school. Also provide additional evidence to support your claims. Please, if you're a mature student, we know that in Canada, for example, somebody who is above 35 years, you might be refused visa. But if it's for UK, they can accept that. So at times you can be 45 and you want to still study. So you can show them that you have what it takes to apply for that course. And you can tell them you have additional evidence to support your claims. I'm pretty sure they will allow you. Please, next slide. Now, you need to also tell them about the additional details, placements, I've said it, work experiences or volunteering works you have done. If you're an international student, like for those of us who are in Nigeria, we are international students. So tell the universities why you want to study and why you think that, now why you want to study in English, you need to tell them. You need to tell them why you want to study in the UK, for example, and why you think you can successfully complete a course that is taught in English. Mind you that most of these universities require that you have English language proficiency. So it means you need to take IELTS. You can take maybe Cambridge Professional Examination, CBE. You can take exams like TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language. So why some persons' application might be refused is if you come from countries that they don't speak English and you don't have IELTS, for example, you might be refused. So for UK, many of the institutions will apply for our candidates. They accept them even with your WAEC. As long as you have C6 in WAEC, they will accept that. So if you were taught in a language not in English language, aside English language, you need to tell them, you need to show them you have completed a course. And that's why we used to ask for them to submit your English language proficiency examination. You need to show it. You need a proof. If it's IELTS, they give you a band, maybe band 6.0. Some schools say band 6.5 or 7. It's fine, it's good to go, but you must show them that you have what it takes to undertake that program and that you are taught. So you have to mention it. Say if some of your studies have been taught or examined in English, and if you have taken any part in activities before and use English and outside your course, you need to also state that. Now, if you know that you would like to take, if you know you would like to achieve what you, okay, you would like to achieve something after a course, explain how you want to use the knowledge and experience that you've gained. How does the course relate to what you want to do in the future? Now, this is very, very key in your personal statement. In fact, it's in your conclusion. Anytime you are writing your personal statement, always explain to them what you tend to achieve after you complete the course. Please note, it is going to be looked at. They will check for this. They are actually looking for this. It is part of what you are concluding with. Explain to them. Don't tell them, I'm making this as a postscript. Very, very important. Please note this. Don't tell the admission selection committee that you would like to remain in the UK, for example, after your program. Your application will be rejected. I'm just being frank. Do not state that after completing the course, I would like to remain in UK to continue to extend the frontiers of knowledge on this profession. I'm telling you, you will be refused. It will be rejected at the go. So you need to tell them, how does the course relate to what you want to do in the future? So you can tell them that you want to use your experience, the experience from learning for 1 year in the program. You want to use it to help organizations become better. How? You want to use your experience to reduce or to save costs for your organization. You realize that every time they sublet some of these are works, these are jobs. They do many jobs and they sublet it. Now you can tell them that, see, after concluding this program, I can assure that the organizations I will go and work for, I will save them so much because they won't need to be spending so much outsourcing their jobs to external consultants. I have what it takes. You can tell them that when you come back, you will organize programs, seminars like this. You will collaborate with partner institutions and they will help train people. It could be HSC, you want to study occupational health, maybe environment or occupational health therapy. You tell them what you want to do. That is different from what you see in your parent company, your home country. You need to tell them. It's very key. I'm hammering on this because many people just go and state that, okay, after I finish the course, I'll come to my country and I'll apply what I've gained. No, you need to tell them, what will you do? What you will do that others will not do? What will you do differently? Very, very key. What's the next slide, please? Next slide. Okay, so at this point, I am rounding off by telling you that you need to structure your personal statement in such a way that it will elicit the excitement of your admission selections committee. So I would like to round off at this note by just recapping, telling you that your personal statement is just about you selling yourself, telling those who are going to sit back and review your applications that you are actually deserving of it. So I want to thank you for listening. We'll go to the question and answer session after now, but sincerely, I'm grateful to you all for having me give you this opportunity to talk to you. And I pray that you continue to enjoy the remaining part of this event. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Onyekachi, for that wonderful presentation. We really, really appreciate, and I believe that every one of us have learned a lot on how to write a statement of purpose. So right about now, if you've not sent in your questions in the group, in the chat box, please do that now, because we're going to the question section. Okay, so we have a question from Praise Eke Opa. She says, what's the difference between the statement of purpose and personal statements? For this question and answer section, we'll be having Mr. Sento and Mr. Kachi. Yes. So I'll be directing my questions to the two of you. So Mr. Sento, please can you answer us the difference between the statement of purpose and the personal statement?
It's the same thing, to be honest. It's just that in some countries, they name it as statement of purpose, and in some countries or some places, they use it the other way. But the meaning is the same. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sento. And Praise, I believe you've gotten the answer to your question. So we have another question here. That says, okay, what is the best way to begin SOP? Mr. Kachi, please, can you handle that?
Okay, thank you very much. I've said that before. The best way is just to introduce yourself. And the introduction is very key, like I said. In less than 2-3 minutes, once they look at it, they should be able to know where you are headed to. So just introduction. You can tell them that, okay, a master's in business administration will give me an opportunity to hone my skills. Now, over the years, I've worked in places, or perhaps I studied in a course that was totally at variance with what I actually want to do now. Maybe I finish in maybe business, maybe I studied marketing. And I said, okay, master's in maybe business administration. It's an opportunity for me to hone my skills that I've garnered over time while working. You can just show them, maybe while working in social company. I was able to learn certain things that I feel would make me to continue to proceed in this line. Okay, how do I mean? I'm just giving you a recap. Now, I'm starting by telling the admission committee by saying, okay, that a master's in business administration will give me an opportunity to hone my set skills. Now, over time, I've researched, I've worked, even through my experience for my undergraduate class, I understood how organizations work. Though I studied marketing, but I understood that over time, organizations, many of them collapse just because of certain things that are missing. And one of which is they do not do a lot of work as per profit and loss analysis. How do I mean profit and loss? Many organizations work and they don't sit back and do an analysis. Now, I want to study marketing, for example, or sorry, maybe data science. I want to tell the organization now, or perhaps the committee that, see, I intend using the experiences I've garnered over time to help my organization save costs. Instead of them going to consult people who are external bodies and they pay heavily for them, through this opportunity to do my master's, that will make me a master in this profession. I know that by coming back home to my own country, I'm trying to summarize, but my introduction is I'm trying to win their hearts that, see, this studying a master's gives me an opportunity to be able to help save costs in an organization, help my horizon. I studied in a particular course. Now I want to gain a mastery of that course. So it helped broaden my horizon. So this is actually an introduction. And if you can follow that line of thought, it's something that will help you a long way. Thank you.
Can I just join in just a moment as well? Okay. So the best, I think back to the question as well, the best way is there is no right or wrong answer, okay? There are more than one way you can do it. You can start with a motivational quotes, or because the personal statement is personal, okay? This is we haven't met you, we haven't seen what you look like, okay? So the person that's just going through application, they're going to get a sample of who you are, okay? So give them the sample of who you are itself, and from once they finish a statement, they know who you are, they know what you want, and this is an opportunity to be different from the other application. It's also a chance for you to impress the person that's actually doing the application as well, right? And also, if you keep these in mind, I'm sure this will help you with the personal statement itself.
Okay. Thank you very much, Serge, for the answers to the questions. So we're having persons requesting for these presentation slides. So please click the form, fill it, and then a rep will get back to you. Your email address will be, the presentation slides will be sent to your email address. So just click the form for that. So we have someone who said, can I be admitted even with a third class degree? Mr. Center, please, can you answer that?
So it depends on what you're applying for, okay? So I presume if you're applying for a bachelor degree, then it's acceptable. But if you can give me more insight about yourself, then I can probably answer the question even better.
Okay, so one more question. Said, when writing an SOP, do you have to include your name? That's the applicant.
No, you don't, because the SOP is an internal part of the application itself. So they already know who you are. They have more information. So this is just, you don't need to put your name in there.
Okay, so that's all the questions we'll be having now. I'll be handing over to the facilitator. Thank you once more for this section. Okay, sorry, one more question. Is it right for us to write GRE for universities in USA?
Sorry, say that again.
So is it right for us to write GRE for universities in USA?
Graduates Records Examination, GRE.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Wavering.
Okay, I think this person is trying to ask if there's a way to waive it.
Oh, okay, yeah. There are some ways, to be honest, okay? Again, we need to know your previous education and everything as well. There are ways to do it itself, yes. We can do them, but if you have more understanding about yourself personally, then we can tell you how this can be possible. And it's the same for, oh, sorry. Yeah. Is it right for us to write a GRE for your Indian waiver? At times it's been very wide, but still used. So let me give an example for for the UK market. It's similar to the USA as well. Okay, so for example, the English test. Okay, so in UK, the English test or the English proficiency test is important, but it can be waived off. Okay, so the way it can be waived off is, for example, with your if you had a previous degree that was taught in English, or if you have a really good marks in your secondary education, it can be waived off. Sometimes the university itself might have their own test as well. Again, back to the university stays, it's the same again. Okay. I can see one more question saying that how can one get application fee waived off? So for UK, there's no application fees. Majority of them doesn't have an application fee. For Canada and US, the application fee is by the universities. It's not something we set, but now and again they will have offers. They might have a 50% off. They might not even have 100% off as well. So during those times, then we can ask them to waive it off. Sometimes there's a slight possibility that we can ask them, but this is by the university itself, and they do this just to stop people from wasting that time itself. Okay, it's not something that we take the money to ourselves. It is paid directly with the university.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sento, Mr. Mekachi. Thank you very, very much. We really appreciate your presence here. We'll be moving on to the next item on the agenda, and I'm handing over to the facilitator. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm back again. Welcome back. So we'll go to our photo session now, and that's going to be taken by Mr. Uchenna.
All right, everyone, please, can we on our video camera so that we can have a photo of this session, please? So everyone on your video camera, please, so we can take a photo of this session. All right. Some people have still not on their video. Please kindly on your video so we'll take a photo of the session. All right, Mr. Simeon, please help us capture the photos, please.
Okay, some videos are still coming up. Let's just give them a few seconds.
Okay. All right, Mr. Simeon, have we done that yet?
Thirty seconds.
All right. Please on your video, if you have not done that, we're taking photos for this session, please.
Okay, we are good.
Okay, that's good. So we'll move to the next item on the agenda now. Please, the facilitator should take over from here.
All right, thank you. So let's go straight to the next on our agenda that has to do with the announcement. So quickly, so that I won't waste much of our time, I hand over to Mr. Odushola Adebule. Thank you.
Okay, thanks again. And I must appreciate Mr. Kashi for that wonderful presentation. Just to go to the announcement, once again, this study globally, and it is important we mention some of those things we do so that we can actually acquaint ourselves with them. Number one, Study Global, we actually provide a free independent advice and guidance to students who are applying to study in the UK, Canada, and in USA, just as it has been mentioned. Also, we actually provide a list of recommended university for you to apply in. We also provide you with and review your application form. It is also important you know that even your personal statement will help in reviewing it. We also give advice on documents that are required for this university. We also advise on available scholarship. Also, we advise you on decision of which offer to accept. We also give you proper support throughout the application process until your enrollment. Just to bring to your notice, we are in partnership with more than 250 education provider in UK, Canada, and USA, and that actually gives us a wide range of opportunity to serve you better. Also in Nigeria here, we have our office in Port Harcourt and in Lagos. The Port Harcourt office is at GRA Phase 2, while in Lagos, we have it at Ikeja. Details of that will be dropped in the chat box. And if you want to contact us, our number will be dropped on the chat box. But most importantly, the Google form is also on the chat box so that you can reach us better, so that we can give you proper information and all information necessary for you to actually achieve your dream of studying abroad. And yeah, that's it for now. But we must put to heart that all this we are doing is actually free. and all the advice we give and all is free. I believe it is actually high time you take good opportunity of that. That is going to be all from my side for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Olushola Adebule. So just to add to what you have said, all we do, our services are absolutely free. So if you have further questions, you can also write them down in the chat box. Our agents will get in touch with you. So that I won't waste much of your time, I would like to hand over to the SP representative who is here to help us with the closing remarks as a round off.
Thank you once again for this section. It was really packed. I would really want the participants to take advantage of this opportunity. It's not every day you have such services being offered and rendered free of charge. So I would want to say a very big thank you to the organizers, to Study Globally and the Society of Petroleum Engineers. If you're not yet a member of SP, I really, really encourage you to join the society. It will help you in growing. And then also we're being taught to be volunteers. It will help us in the long run. So SP gives you an opportunity to volunteer, to learn, to harness that skill that you've learned over time. So it will be a wonderful opportunity to put yourself to good use. Now, working with Study Globally, it's going to be very, very wonderful, as it will help you in forging your careers and ensuring that your educational journey is not cut short. Thank you once again for this program. All the best to the applicants.
Thank you very much. That was a nice one. So I would like to hand over to Mr. Akwan for the vote of thanks. Okay, I'll be doing that on our behalf. So on behalf of the organizers, that's SP in collaboration with the Study Globally Nigeria, I want to thank every one of you that has found time to join us for this epoch-making occasion. This is the median edition of our monthly webinars. It's going to be what we'll be doing every month. So please look out for the next edition, and it is going to be very, very interesting. I want to thank you for spending time out of your tight schedules to be in attendance for this occasion or event. Many thanks to our consultants, those who have been working at the back end. Many thanks to Mr. Center, International Director. We're so happy, we're glad to have you in our midst today. And I'm sure subsequent ones will be involved. So I think he just let me know now that you will be handling the next presentation for next month. So I'm glad to inform you that this program continues and it has come to stay. So next month we'll be having an interesting topic that will be handled by International Director. So you need to understand that what we do, majority of our work is just to help you fulfill your dreams. So if you are looking at an opportunity of studying abroad as a means to live and work abroad, you have the only best place to go about it is just through our agency. And what is our own unique selling point or proposition is the fact that Study Globally, we do our services absolutely free. Other organizations, last week I consulted with an organization who said that the good, I had to pay them, I will have to pay 150,000 naira just to help, for them to help me to do and to start applying for my own admission. Can you imagine? Another company is asking me for that. So ours is absolutely free. So I want to thank you all for finding time to be part of this event. And we know that it doesn't end here. So for those who have made interest in the intention to have a copy of the slide, we'll send your emails. Just drop your emails in the chat box and our agent will get to you. So many thanks to you all for your time. I want to thank specifically those who are working at the back end who made this to work. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. And I hope we'll be having this. We'll let you know with the exact time we'll be having this next month. Thank you very much. On behalf of Study Global in Nigeria, on behalf of SP, we say thank you and God bless you. So we'll go straight to the closing prayer, and that will be handled by Mr. Frank Silvanus. Okay, any volunteer, please, can hand you the closing prayer. Any
Jesus'
religion?
name.
Okay, man.
Father, we thank you for this program. We thank you for all the things that we've learned today. We thank you because we know it's going to help us improve our lives. Thank you because we know that from this day forward, we're going to keep growing higher and higher. We thank you for the organizers. We thank you for how you helped them to put this up. We pray for more wisdom for them to pilot their affairs in the name of Jesus. Lord, we
Amen.
give us the praise for all the things you've done. Praise and glory to your holy name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very, very much. So we'll see you some other time. We'll get in touch with you after this program so you can have a nice day. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. God bless you. Thank you.
I like the program, Shai.
Are we still recording?